They rebuilt the village without speaking about what happened. No monuments. No stories. No names carved into wood. Silence became tradition. For a while, it worked. The forest stayed thin, distant, harmless. Until the dreams began. Not nightmares, memories. People started dreaming of a place none of them had seen before, a clearing deep in the woods, where a single split tree stood under a sky with no stars. In the dream, they weren't afraid. They were called. Mara was the first to admit she was dreaming again. "It's not asking," she said quietly one morning. "It's rebuilding." That night, she followed the dream. Not sleepwalking, choosing. The forest did not resist her entry. It felt ordinary now, smaller, mortal. The air was cool, still. Too still. She walked for hours before she found it. The split tree. It looked dead. Hollow, burned from the inside. She stepped closer. The bark shifted. Not visibly, but perceptibly. Like something behind a curtain adjusting its weight. "You learned," the voice said. It was faint, weak. "You fed on fear," she replied. "On stories." A dry sound echoed from within the hollow trunk. Not quite laughter. "I fed on memory." The ground beneath the tree pulsed once, soft as a heartbeat. "You cannot destroy memory," it continued. "You only bury it." The soil at Mara's feet cracked. Not violently, gently. Like something hatching. Thin white roots pushed upward, fragile, pale, newborn. They did not lash out. They did not grab. They reached. "You starved me," the voice whispered. But starvation teaches adaptation. The inside of the hollow began to glow, not dark this time, but dim and amber, like fading embers. "You think silence weakens me?" it asked. Mara said nothing. The glow flickered. "I no longer need fear." The roots spread across the ground, brushing her boots lightly. "I need curiosity." The forest around her shifted subtly, not growing, reorganizing, paths forming naturally, invitingly. Almost beautiful. The demon's presence felt different now, smaller, sharper, more patient. "You will not warn them forever," it said. "Someone will wonder, someone will search, and they will find only fragments." The hollow widened slightly. And fragments are enough. Mara understood then. It wouldn't roar anymore. It wouldn't drag. It would let people discover it. A blog post. An old diary. A half-told story. Curiosity would do what fear once did. "You're evolving," she said quietly. The embers inside the trunk pulsed. "I am remembering differently," the forest exhaled. In the distance, a bird sang for the first time in years. Mara stepped back from the tree. "You'll never be what you were," she said. "No," the voice agreed. "I will be something else." The roots slowly retreated into the soil. The glow dimmed. The hollow returned to darkness. But before the forest fell silent again, the voice spoke one last time. "You came back because you were curious." Mara didn't answer. She left the forest without running. At the edge, she paused, not in fear, not in warning. In thought. Back in the village, life continued. Children laughed again. Travelers passed through without hesitation. And deep within the forest, beneath a split tree no one talks about anymore, something waits. Not hungry. Not angry. Just patient. Because fear is loud. But curiosity is quiet. And quiet things spread the farthest. Years passed without incident. No disappearances. No whispers in the night. No bells ringing from empty towers. The forest became a backdrop again, a place of shade and old trees, nothing more. That's when the hikers arrived. They weren't from the village. They had maps, drones, cameras. They were documenting forgotten places, abandoned towns, buried legends, old myths people no longer believed. They found the split tree on the second day. It wasn't hard to find. It wanted to be found. The bark looked ordinary on camera. Weathered, hollow. One of them laughed and said, "This is it. The cursed tree." Another stepped closer and ran a hand along the split trunk. The temperature dropped instantly. Their drone feed glitched. Static flickered across the screen, and for a single frame and just one, something appeared inside the hollow. An eye not embedded in wood. Looking out. They didn't notice. But the camera recorded everything. That night, while reviewing footage in their tent at the forest's edge, they saw it. Frame by frame, pose, zoom, enhance. There it was again. An eye opening inside the trunk, watching. They stared at each other in silence. "This is gold," one of them whispered. Curiosity. They went back at midnight. No fear now. Only anticipation. The forest felt normal, quiet, still. To still. They set up lights around the tree, flooding the clearing in artificial brightness. Shadows retreated, but not far enough. "Let's see what you are," one of them said, stepping toward the hollow with a flashlight. The beam cut into the darkness. For a moment, there was nothing inside. Just depth. Then the light bent. Not visibly, but wrong. As if the space inside was larger than the tree itself. The air thickened. Their cameras began recording on their own. A soft sound echoed from the hollow. Not whispering. Breathing, slow, measured. The flashlight flickered. Inside the trunk, something shifted, not forward, not outward, but sideways, like it was turning within a space that didn't obey angles. "Do you hear that?" someone asked. "Yes," another replied. The breathing sensed. Not with each other. With them. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Their own chests began rising and falling in the same rhythm. The tree wasn't attacking. It was aligning. One of the hikers stepped closer without meaning to. His pupils widened. The others watched as he placed his hand inside the hollow. The moment his skin crossed the threshold, the lights died. Pitch black. The breathing stopped. A single heartbeat echoed through the clearing, not his. The forest's. The lights flickered back on. He was gone. No scream. No struggle. No blood. Just absence. The cameras were still recording. When they checked the footage later, they saw what happened. The inside of the tree had opened like an eye dilating. Not outward, inward. And he had stepped forward willingly. As if he'd seen something beautiful. The remaining hikers ran. But the path out felt longer than before. Not twisting. Not trapping. Just stretching. Behind them, the split tree sealed slightly. Inside its hollow, a faint amber glow returned. And within that glow, a new shape formed. A human silhouette. Standing still. Watching outward. The forest did not grow that night. It did not spread. It did not whisper. It simply waited. Because fear brings resistance. Curiosity brings approach. And now, somewhere online, there is a video titled, "We Found the Demon Tree." It has millions of views. Most people think the eye in the footage is edited. A trick of light, a glitch. But a few have paused the video at the exact right frame. And noticed something else. When the eye opens inside the tree, it isn't looking at the camera, it's looking past it, as if it knows who's watching.